that makes sense, Aaron, to discuss the final game of the Liga NOS season a couple of weeks ago. Their Sporting Lisbon played against Boa Vista. Let me get up some of their club information. Sporting Lisbon FC, and Boa Vista. So yeah, So basically, me and Aaron decided that we would jump on here and have a bit of a conversation. Aaron is trying to do some work at the moment, so he's going to be chatting with me via the chat that we've sort of set up here. Yeah, sorry. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to get to know a new piece of software, so I might be a bit jumbled and a bit all over the place. Yeah, let me just see that the stream is working. Right. Yes, I forget that there's a bit of a delay going on. But the it's saying the video resolution is not optimal. I don't know what that means, and I don't know why that popped up earlier. Yeah. So Aaron is in the chat, and in the future we will get him on as a voice so that he can speak clearly himself, because it's going to be a bit odd just me reading off what he says. But he says, "Wheels are." I'm again trying to copy his voice. Still buzzing from last week. What an atmosphere, man. Haha. I'm sure you weren't expecting that, to be fair. Neither was I, but wow, what a night. Yeah, first of all, Aaron, I will say that's, yeah, it was incredible. What I'll do is, for those that don't know, I'll introduce the clubs a little bit, and then we can get into talking about it. Just to be really clear, basically. So where did we? Yeah, so the two clubs. We went to watch Sporting Club de Lisbon at de Portugal, otherwise known simply as Sporting or Sporting CP, or often as Sporting Lisbon. It was founded on the 1st of July 1906, and it's one of the three biggest football clubs in Portugal. Tres Grandes. I'm not gonna even try. Along with SL, Benfica, and Porto. They've never been relegated from the top flight of Portuguese football, which is called the Primeira Liga, since 1934. And they are nicknamed the Lions, and the green and whites, verde e branco, Broncos. Again, sorry to those that might be watching that are Portuguese. I just butchered your language. The club's anthem, called Sporting's March, was written in 1955. And according to July of last year, they have 106,625 active members. They're the third most decorated Portuguese team with a total of 52 trophies, including one international title, the 1963-1964 European Cup Winners' Cup. And domestically, and this is where our night the other night comes into this, domestically they have won 19 Premier League titles, 17 Portuguese cups, 4 Championships of Portugal, a record tie with Porto, 3 Taça da Liga, and 8 Portuguese Super Cup trophies, and they are currently ranked 32nd in the UEFA club rankings. And they were up against Boa Vista Football Club, known as Boa Vista. It's from the city of Porto, and was founded on the 1st of August 1903 by British entrepreneurs and Portuguese textile workers. Thus the FC bit being appended the British way as opposed to the more common Portuguese way of being appended to the club's name. It's one of the oldest clubs in the country and plays in the Premier Liga, Portuguese top flight. And it grew to become an important sports club in Portugal with sections dedicated to several sports, including football, chess, gymnastics, bicycle racing, fun, futsal, volleyball, rink hockey, wow, and boxing. They are notable for being being trademarked with the checkered white and black shirts. And the club is the most eclectic one in the northern regions of Portugal, and one of the most eclectic sports club in Portugal, practicing 16 sports. They have 9 major domestic trophies, 1 championship, 5 Portuguese cups, and 3 Super Leagues, domestic Super Cups. Boa Vista is the most decorated Portuguese football club after the big 3. And they spent 39 consecutive seasons in the Premier League, 50 in total, together with Belenenses. Is the only team outside the big 3 to have won the Portuguese Championship in the 2001 season. It has a rivalry with, obviously, fellow city club Porto, and the club and the matches between them are called Derby da Invicta, I think. Again, I've fluffed up the names so far. So, so I just wanted to establish that first. So, oh, good. See, Aaron is apparently learning, which we can all get behind, I think. Yes. So the other night, Aaron texted me and said, "Hayden, Sporting, he's been on at me all season for trying to, for trying to support Sporting all season. We have many Portuguese friends ourselves, and basically, that's why we've sort of picked them up as a second club. At least that's for me. Aaron is much older than me, a few years older than me, and so he's been a much bigger fan for much longer. But yeah, so I've just been trying to learn things over from different friends of mine over the years, and so I've watched games with them, and it's always been a really incredible atmosphere. And I've watched Portuguese games for the national team with many of these Portuguese friends. I've been to many parties with them, and it's just been a really interesting ride. So Aaron texted me the other day and he says, Sporting, and I was like, yeah. And he was like, they have the chance to win the league for the first time in how long was it, Aaron? How many years did you say it been. Whilst we're waiting for him to respond, um, I uh, I said sure. It would be cool to basically witness a title victory. 19 years since the last time they won the league, and I thought Liverpool have just won the title um, after the what do you call it? Uh, After the last season uh, in England, obviously Liverpool um, just won the league after 30 years of a wait, and it was an absolutely incredible atmosphere. But um, being in the UK, obviously amongst the pandemic, we've not really been able to celebrate anything. We certainly weren't able to celebrate what was the culmination of 30 years of heartbreak or heartache. Um, so when Aaron told me that this opportunity had come up and we could go to a local Portuguese bar, restaurant thing, to watch that game with them, with a load of sporting fans, I bit his hand off. Um, you know, I the For those that are not from the UK that watch this, our lockdowns have just started to ease off again. Um, Pubs and shops are opening, restaurants are opening again, um, uh, albeit like with restricted capacity and things like that. So thankfully, these bars and pubs were open, and I got there, and I turned up in my wheelchair, and we had this thing where the entire street was packed with people, like just real like a really thick crowd of people, all wearing clad in green and white um, scarves, chanting, cheering, drinking beer, um, all crowded around these television screens, and at the same time, just seeing all of these screens crowded around, but not just from young people, but from middle-aged people and elderly people. Like there was a couple who maybe were in their 60s, and they were right at the table next to us. Um, and this lady was like, "I've not seen Portugal win, uh, Sporting win in in 19 years, 20 years," and got quite emotional when telling me, and was all full of hugs and love and kindness, and the same with Aaron, and just there was something about those moments that just really brings everyone together. And um, I've been trying to find a way to put pictures up here on the screen, but I haven't worked it out yet. And yeah, we took videos, and um, there was a real sense that if Portugal win, if um, Sporting win this place is going to absolutely erupt. I mean, there were flares going off before the game even started. Like, it was absolutely incredible. We barely managed to find seats ourselves. We managed to ask some guys if we could sit on the end of their table, and yeah, and somehow we managed to squeeze our way. Yeah, I mean, there was a beer queue that went all the way through this big tent where they had set everyone up so that we were outside but also protected. And it went out into the street and bent round the corner, and it was easily a 30 person, 40 person, 30 person queue. Like, it's a proper thing. It's snaked all the way to the front of the bar. And this group of no more than 4 or 5 Portuguese women and guys were running around, trying to find bottles and bottle openers and bottles of wine and glasses, and they were also Sporting fans, so they wanted to run around and try and make sure that they were able to see the game as well, and it was unbelievable. And Boavista are not a team that are super hard to beat. I got the impression from many there on the night that Boavista are kind of a mid-table team, or fighting against relegation team. Aaron can tell me more statistics about them in the chat, about where they're currently placed. I think on the night that we went and saw that game, Boavista had to win that game in order to not fall into the relegation zone or the relegation playoff, because you have two teams that will go down, and then you have one game, the third place team from the bottom and the fourth from bottom team play each other, and the loser of that game then goes down with the others. So Boavista were trying not to go down. According to Aaron, they just about survived on the last day, so they're safe. Oh, that's good. They seem like they're a very historic club, and I hope they have a good season next season. But so there was really a lot on the line. Sporting could win the title that night, and Boavista could save themselves from relegation or near enough from it. The first goal goes in, and it's like the earth shakes. Everyone was jumping up and down, shouting, screaming. Some were crying. Really, really losing themselves in the moment. Okay. But they have a good history overall in Portugal, so if they did go down, it would have been heartbreaking. They're too big to go down. Yeah, I suppose they're a bit like Nottingham Forest, right? Or in the sense that they have such a long history in their footballing ecosystem, and they thought that they're one of those clubs that are too big to go down, but somehow find a way to go down. So I'm glad they stayed up, because we've seen so many teams in England that are, quote, too big to go down or shouldn't be where they are in the lower leagues, who are somehow down there. The first goal goes in, and everyone loses their mind, because it was now almost a certainty that what was going to happen was going to happen. Right. Oh, okay. Everton. Thanks. Or Spuds. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it was incredible, because at full time, it ended 1-0, didn't it? In the end, and it was, sorry, long day. Yeah, it was near. Yeah, so it was all in Westbourne Park. Yeah, it was really nervous at the end. Not because Boavista had any real chances, although they did have one or two. And the Sporting goalkeeper really pulled off some remarkable saves at the end. And yes, Aaron started to lose his head a bit. He was like, "Oh, I can't believe this is happening. Are they gonna really blow it or not?" And I was like, yeah, Aaron didn't want to celebrate. Like the last 25, 30 minutes, everyone was just jumping up and down anyway. Like they were clapping, they were chanting throughout the whole game, smiling, joking, doing all of this stuff. And Aaron was like sat right there trying not to react. He was smiling and stuff, and he was reacting to what was happening in the game, but was mostly like, every time Sporting had a chance, and didn't score. He was completely like losing it a little bit. Like he was getting proper frustrated because that nerves was getting to him. Um, and I think we would have had the same thing at Liverpool if that was the way that we were gonna break a duck. Yeah, and Sporting was having chance after chance after chance, and just couldn't find a way to score that goal at all. Um, yeah. And at the end, like we had, there was so many people that like the police showed up and like tried to shut it down. I think, because we had let off flares or the crowd had set off flares, and had brought drums along, and were really really chanting, and the police had come to complain about the noise or something. And so there was obviously this real concern that the police might shut down the gathering, even though we were all outside and we were all social distanced and all wearing masks and things like that. There was this chance that um, that yeah, that we all thought we were going home, because there was 10 minutes to go. The police show up. The staff of the restaurant had to then go and talk to the police themselves, calm them down, tell them that we weren't a problem, um, tell them that the game was coming to an end anyway, and that everyone would soon be gone, that everyone was still outside, and that everyone was still obeying the rules, and you know you could really sense the whole night you could sense just how much it meant to the fans, but in that 10 minutes or 15 minutes from when the police arrived to the time the police ended, everyone was petrified that they might turn off the game 10 minutes before um, the crowning moment of their season. Um, and people were trying to text their friends that were inside the restaurant saying, what's going on? What are they saying? What's going to happen? Some people were trying to go, well, make the case that well, we're safe. We're in the right. We're not doing anything wrong. We're obeying the rules, and we're sitting quietly, and we're not causing a disrupt. Please just let this get to the end. And thankfully, yeah, it ended in the most brilliant way. The game ended 1-0. Sporting won. Everyone cheered. The crying that had started after that first goal just erupted again. Yeah, there was bottles of champagne, bottles of beer going back and forth all night. Through that second half, there were groups of guys going to the local shops and buying crates of beer and carrying them in. So we were very heavily liquored for the rest of the celebrations. They had to shut up shop to move the party onto the street. My wheelchair was trapped inside the pub, inside the bar. And I had to open it up, and then they had to lift the chair out a little bit. Yeah, and it was just because of the way where the pub was positioned. I took a side door and went into the main pub itself, main restaurant itself, and when to come out of the door, the big door, I was facing the street, so I could see the entire party ahead of me. Same as Aaron, and we walked out through the chairs and tables and all of this stuff, and out into the street, and I could just see the extent to which the crowd was really partying. People on tops of brick walls, people dancing, more and more flares going off. Yeah. So, Aaron just alluded it to this, and I'm losing my voice, so I don't know how long I can keep going. But, so, it was like we entered sort of, it was like we entered, like, just the epitome of chaos. Like, everything was strewn across the floor, and people were dancing, and horns were going off, and buses weren't really able to go anywhere, and there were people walking down the street and cheering and dancing and yeah, and chanting in Portuguese. And then Aaron says it here. You know, everyone was like, let the guy in the wheelchair move and come out. And so I walk out into the middle of this crowd, and this group of like 20 or 30 people surrounded me, as if to like they would dance and then I would dance in the middle. And sometimes it can be like this, kind of a little bit like, oh, here's the guy in the wheelchair dancing. So I turned it on them a bit. So I thought, yeah, let's go with it. So I got out of my wheelchair and started dancing with them. And of course, the go-to reaction is not cheering, although that was there. The immediate response is utter shock, and then the cheering. So, yeah, it was this really remarkable thing, and I sort of was like geeing up the crowd. So they were dancing around me. I then started dancing. I got up. They all started cheering again. And then the crowd around me was like just going back to dancing and stuff, but like trying to encourage me to keep dancing. And I sat down. I sat down for a second and then stood up again and kind of was like this. I was like geeing up the crowd. Not just on the side in front of me, but to the left of me and to the right of me, and I turned around and did it to the crowd behind me, and it was like I sort of coordinated like a mini Mexican wave. Like I sort of was like, I moved my arms like that in celebration, and everyone else did it. It was like this real harmonizing moment of everyone just getting lost in the euphoria and just almost not really knowing what we were doing or why. We just did things. Yeah. I mean, Aaron, what do you think? I mean, just write down your feelings and then I'll read them out. Yeah. Well, again, so like whilst we were waiting for him, um, yeah, it's tough because I made videos and took pictures and stuff, and I don't necessarily know how to upload them onto the screen, um, so that so you could see the images. Aaron says the feeling literally stayed in my head for at least 3 or 4 days. awesome. That's really good. Apparently, Aaron has shared this stream with um the rest of the Liverpool group chat that we're involved in, and with some of the football banter chat, which is a football group chat where we basically all just take the piss out of each other for our teams, but then we also just come together and we talk about just some of the big scandals in football, and it's very partisan, but it's also a lot of fun. So hopefully, maybe some people here. Yeah, we even recorded a fan reaction, our post-match reaction. In the video, I am probably a combination of drunk and also not able to speak because of my disability. But yeah, I think whatever words I was trying or noises I was trying to push out, they were very, very positive ones. And yeah, the feeling did stay in my head for like 3 or 4 days. Aaron says that it did for him. Yeah, I don't think it lasted quite as long for me, but nothing really stays that long in my head, unfortunately. But it is a feeling. It's an atmosphere that just stays with you. It was a similar one to being in the Euros. So Aaron said at the beginning, you know, what an atmosphere. I'm sure you weren't expecting that, to be fair. Neither was I, but wow, what a night. But that's not strictly true. And Aaron, let me know what you think of this. When Portugal won the European Championships, me and Aaron and some other friends of ours managed to go to Vauxhall to watch Portugal versus France um, in in Vauxhall in a Portuguese restaurant pub, and that night was insane because it was so packed that there was like literally no space inside the pub, not any space in the outside seating area, and nor was there any space out into the street. In fact, we had to stand on tables and chairs, and I had to raise my wheelchair up in order to just be even able to see the eighth row of people outside of the pub, outside of the restaurant. And so I think that night there was like a no expectation that Portugal were gonna win. Really, that was really sudden. And from Adair of all people, um, this night felt far more inevitable, and the party was just insane. But the not knowing that it was possible for the Euros meant that the party went on literally all night. No, I know that, Aaron. That's what I'm trying to draw a distinction from. So that's the only night I can feel that was a bit like that. But yeah, that game against Boavista and what it meant for the city and what it meant for us, me and Aaron, as Liverpool fans, who hadn't had that chance to celebrate our victory and haven't had the chance to celebrate it this season because of a bad season. Which actually could end up being a really good season anyway, if results go our way on Sunday. Yeah. Yeah. We did stay back that night. Yeah. I remember that night cars were like drifting and like kept going around and around that same bit of the street. And while constantly honking their horns the whole time. Yeah, that was pretty incredible. But yeah, it felt really yeah. Um
yeah, to celebrate the Sporting win, like like we should have celebrated the Liverpool win, was something incredibly special. And yeah, it has really made up for what has been a very bad season for our team. And one of the Portuguese guys that we were with said exactly that. He said, "You've had a bad season, this um, but this night is like your celebration." And I found myself trying not to well up. Yeah, it'll be a long time since I kind of remember um, a feeling like that. No, I haven't seen the scenes in Lisbon, mate. At all. Let me try something here. So I'm gonna try and get up the two flags of the clubs. Bear with me, guys. And let's see if I can get this to work. So right. Bum 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 bum. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. I'll try and see if I can work out how to add music. Although I suppose that has some sort of licensing agreement problems, you know. Um, don't you just love technical problems? Ah. Oh, well, that's fun. I can't get it to work. Yeah, that really sucks. Yeah, I don't know how to fix this. Anyway, um, gosh, I'm really starting to lose my voice here. Um, so Aaron is saying that we should go, as Liverpool fans, we should go in for, oh God, Bragança instead of Cabral. Not that we will though. Those through balls of his are proper lit. Yeah, I mentioned this on yesterday on the stream earlier today. That Liverpool have been linked with um, Pedro Gonçalves. That's a horrible, again, butchering of his name. But this guy, Bragança, Bragança, um, will would I need to find out more about him. Yeah, I mentioned him earlier, Aaron. Um, so I know nothing about this Bragança guy. Where does he play and how does he play? What's he like? Because apparently Gonçalves is very like Bruno Fernandes. And of course, we were linked very heavily to Bruno Fernandes. So, we were whiskers away from getting him at the club. And yeah, it seems unfortunate that we weren't able to get him in the end. So he's an attacking mid. Aaron, can you tell me how many goals he scored this season? And apparently he could be the next Coutinho, if not better. Well, I suppose that's a very solid point, right? I mean, sounds like he has a lot of yeah, it sounds like he has a lot of potential. How old is he? He's 22. Okay, let's Google that. I don't know how much longer I can keep going on here because um I'm losing my voice. I'm sorry if this guys hasn't been too packed or too interesting for you guys. But yeah, I thought we would just give our thoughts really. About what was an absolutely incredible night. I mean, you could feel the hairs on you could feel that arms the hair on your arms stand out. You know, the hairs on the back. Um, yeah. Aaron, I would say that like it's very good to get excited, but like if we sign him, I'm getting excited again. But that implies that you're not gonna get excited if we don't get him, um, which I don't think helps. Uh, yeah, I actually don't know how to add music yet to this piece of software. Um, yes. Um, what's his first name, Aaron? Because that can't just be like his first name. Is that his first name? Because I'm trying to Google him right now. Um, Googled him. Daniel Bragança. Oh bloody hell! He's slightly older than my brother. Okay, I need to do some digging on this guy. So he's 21, born in Fazendas de Almeirim, in Portugal, on the 27th of May. Daniel Santos Bragança it is a Portuguese professional footballer who plays in midfield for Sporting. Um, he's a left-footed playmaker by the sound of things. And there's lots of compilation videos. Very nice. He is 1.969 centimeters, meters. So that makes him
God, I'm never very good at using metric. So he's about 5'8". Aaron, are you seriously thinking that this is the guy that we should go after? His transfer value is only like 2.7 mil, according to Transfer Market. Oh, I couldn't hear any music. Don't worry. Yeah, he seems like a very small player. Appearances 21. In this season, he's had one yellow card, no second yellows, no red cards. He got 1 assist, no goals, and 21 appearances in Liga NOS. He only joined in August last year, and he's under contract for another 2.5 years. 2 years. Date of last contract extension, 10th of September 2020. So he's basically just renewed it. That makes him probably... Yeah, I mean, look, under Jurgen Klopp, I can imagine him making any player great. Quite frankly, he seems like a player that has but yeah, it'd be really interesting to see him at a club like this. The other player that we were looking at was, let's see if I can get his team up here. So yeah, Pedro Gonçalves. Here we go. Goals 23. Assists 4. 32 appearances. So 23 and 32. That's pretty boss. 4 yellow cards. Only 1 second yellow card. No red cards. No straight red cards. He has, according to Transfer Market, .co.uk, he has been in 94% of all starting 11 squads. He's played 89% of all Sporting Lisbon's minutes and has been in 41% of all of their goal participation. If we look at the detailed performance data for him, we can see that, as the page freaks out now, that means when the team are with him, they're averaging 2.47 points per game. Yeah. He scored in a... Oh, he got coronavirus in like September of last year. Poor guy. But yeah, so in the game that we were watching him in, he was playing right wing against Boa Vista. And then after that game, he scored 2 against Benfica, and then he scored 3 against Maritimo. So he yeah. Okay, Aaron. So I can't check that out at the moment because that's gonna make me look like I'm sort of off in a crazy place and distracted. But yeah, I mean both of these guys look absolutely incredible. I mean this
Pedro Gonçalves seems like a really, really great buy. And this younger guy also is probably very worth it. I'm gonna have to do the classic check him out on FIFA before buying him, before hoping that the club buys him in real life. So yeah, Aaron, do you have anything else that you want to talk about? Because we've been going for about 50 minutes. My voice is starting to go. I've done so many of these. I've gone through so I've done so many of these videos today. Yeah, but I can't check the link, Aaron, because oh, it's a video of them on the team bus, celebrating in Lisbon. Thousands of people packed together with like green and white flares. He actually looks like my brother. That's insane. Yeah, it's an incredible scene, Aaron. I mean, it's lots and lots of people just cheering and celebrating, and I really like that. But yeah, you know, it's times like that that just really makes you love life as a football fan. You really go out of your way to just, yeah, yeah. No, not the same age at all, Aaron. Um, but yeah. Oh. Uh, I'm starting to get a warning from YouTube itself saying that I'm not. It's gonna start massively buffering for everyone. Um, because apparently I'm having connection problems. So, Aaron, I can't. Aaron, it's gonna be like 3 minutes of dead air. Like I'll just be looking at my phone for 3 minutes and no one will be speaking. Um, but yeah. Um, Aaron, you didn't send me anything else. You just sent me that one party video. Um, guys, Aaron, is there anything else you wanted to talk about that doesn't involve me looking at my phone and breaking contact with the audience? Ah, this is really tough. Come on. Yeah, you haven't sent any links in this chat, Aaron. So, yeah. So you didn't send me the link then? Because you said check this link, as if you had sent me one. Anyway. It Aaron, it's not gonna look good. I can't react to it, and I can't bring it up on the screen either. Anyway, um, no, you didn't. I'm literally looking at the chat now. You didn't send it. So yeah, Aaron, I'm gonna say it again. Is there anything else you want to talk about that involves talking, not me looking off screen? Anyway, if he does, if he doesn't respond in the next 2 minutes, then I'm gonna have to end it because I've been at this for almost an hour. Aaron, let's do a preview in a different video because I've been talking for 55 minutes straight and I'm losing my voice. The next video we'll do is a preview of Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. And we will be able to look at the squad and what the we can look at the squad, who we think will score, who we think will start, what we think the result will be, and then we'll just go from there. And it will be a nice way to crown off the end of the season. There are many points permutations that could really come into play in that final game. We could get as high as third in the end, even though we've had this disastrous second half of the season. So yeah, we will see you all in that video very soon. And Aaron, I wanted to thank you for coming on and chatting about this with me. It's not been an easy setup, but it will be a different setup, and this will be how we sort of do a lot of the content now, because I've now got this new software, OBS, which I'm still trying to get my head around. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. We're just trying. Most of this is us working it out as it goes along, as we go along. So some of it will be rusty. But I wanted to thank you all for watching, and thank you, Aaron, for being here. Yeah. Brilliant. Oh, Aaron says, always bra had to cover something. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Ha, Barancha 2021. Okay, everyone, take care. See you later.